Good morning. How are you? We are going to get this Friday started. I'm going to give you a moment to get connected, get your coffee. We'll make this part work, I think. Yeah, I'm just going to wait for you. It's Friday, friends. It's Friday. Thanks, Michaela. How are you? Happy McGriddle Friday. My internet is slow today. Some tabs. See if that helps. Good morning, Cheryl. I'm going to give you all another 45 seconds to get situated, and then we will get going. Enjoy this creepy dance music. Happy Friday, friends, and Cook It Friday. So what are you feeling with that? All right, as you join Coffee Club this morning, welcome to our live podcast. Say hi in the comments. Let me know you're here, hanging out, having some fun on this Friday morning. Appreciate you being here, showing up, and having fun with us. Kathy's here. She's vibing on a Friday morning. I don't know why the things are so low. Maybe I won't show comments today because it just doesn't want to. Krista, good morning. I see you here too. Welcome to Virtual Coffee Club, our live podcast, which I posted today. I said featuring you because you're a huge part of this connection moment. So by being a part of the show, that is you commenting and checking in. And I appreciate it so very much. So welcome to Fuck It Friday. How you feeling? Are you ready for this weekend? If you live in Southern Alberta, this is going to be a gorgeous weather weekend. I do not know the weather across the rest of our beautiful country or into the United States, but I'm hoping you have a beautiful spring forecast ahead in your day too, and ready to just take it on. Take it on. Yesterday was Kelly. Good morning. We didn't talk about it yesterday morning because I wanted just wasn't in my brain to mention, but I wanted to kind of circle around it a little bit today. Was yesterday was Green Shirt Day, and Thursday was the anniversary of the Humboldt crash with all those hockey players and the tragedy that hit that community and several communities because the players were from all over. And then yesterday being Green Shirt Day was started by the Boulay family, and they call it the Logan Boulay effect, and circles around conversation around organ donation. And because Logan had signed his donor card and talked to his family about that, being inspired by his coach prior to that accident happening, his family was able to donate organs and save up to 6 lives following, unfortunately, Logan's succumbing to his injuries from that crash. So, a lot of conversation was happening yesterday around organ donation and registering your family and having those conversations. And some of you may know, some of you may not know. I'm just going to quickly say good morning, Jim, Angie, Corey. Thank you for joining. Just going to share that my ex-husband, my baby daddy, beautiful Bryce, is a recipient of an organ. And I didn't post a lot about it in that I don't want to share his story without his permission and blessing, but I know that it's not a secret. And I know that he has helped numerous people by having conversations for those who are on transplant lists and different things over the years. And it's been gosh, I don't even remember because I have no concept of time, but it's over 20 years ago that Caden's dad received a heart transplant. And so, because somebody signed their donor card and had a conversation with their family, he is still in this world today and was able to create the most beautiful child with me and continues to be one of my dearest friends. And so it's a big deal to have those conversations about donating organs. And it's not one of those things that feels like, hey, we're sitting down at dinner. You guys thinking about if you go, what you want to do with your organs? It's not an easy conversation to bring up, especially if you don't have an experience in your life that is maybe close to you. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, right? But I love that there's more conversation around it. And Bryce is doing amazing, by the way, continues to be extremely healthy and is the poster boy of transplants. But it's something that I hope that you will check out the website. If you go to greenshirtday.ca, there's a link that you can register for organ donation. The key piece in that, like even if you've been someone who's signed, the way they used to get you to sign the back of your healthcare card if you wanted organ and tissue donation. But I think what's really important is the key piece in that is having the conversation with your family about that's being your wishes. Because if they don't know that you've registered and you don't like, you haven't had that combo, it just becomes something that, again, it's weird. You can make it fun. Like, I don't know, like make a cool, like make cupcakes with the organs on it. I don't. Anyway, just have the conversation with your family and think about that being a piece of the legacy that you would like to leave behind when you go. And again, I fully also support and appreciate anybody who, if that is something that is against any of your beliefs, uh, you're still 100% amazing, and we appreciate you. Just saying so. Kelly said that Josie and her had a conversation the other day and that she wants all of her stuff donated and then her body to go to science. Yeah. And I remember having those conversations with my grandma that she wanted her body to be donated to science because she wanted it to go to somewhere where you where it could be useful after she passed. Now, my grandma, beautiful soul, lived until she was 98 years old and lived every single moment of that body to its end. And unfortunately wasn't one that would be useful for those wishes for her to be I guess, fulfilled per se, but we had a lot of conversation around what she wanted to do with that when she had passed. And I think that a lot of people fear having conversations around death. Do you feel that? Is it something that feels, I mean, maybe that's a little bit, maybe that's feeling a little surreal on a Friday morning. On Fuck It Friday, we're going to talk about end of life, but there's another there's a couple of things that are just going in my mind, and I think today it feels top of mind also because I will be attending a celebration of life for a very dynamic community member that passed back in December today. And I am certain in the community of Nanton, the entire town is going to be coming out to celebrate Terry's life today. He was an RCMP officer for a number of years. He recently finished out his service to community by being a counselor in the municipal government and just really gave so much to his community. And it gets you thinking about we don't know when our number is called. We don't know when those last moments for us will be. And not that we're planning, like it's not like you're sitting planning the end, but having some thought around that. And then I've started reading a book written by an incredible Buddhist mind, and I can never say his name properly. So I will, if you're interested, I can throw a picture of the book up at the end of the podcast. But the book is called No Fear, No Death. And basically, he's teaching in the philosophies of taking away the things that we attach to, which therefore makes us fear what the end results will and could be. and and it's been fascinating, extremely difficult to comprehend. I will be honest with you in that for me, but um, fascinating nonetheless. So I guess just organ donation day and then the celebration of life today has just really had me thinking about um, what that looks like to you and what I don't know, just having some conversation around it. Does that make sense? Am I getting too deep on a Friday? But I think it's important to have those conversations. And then if you are in the Southern Alberta area, if you check out the High River District Healthcare Foundation, you'll see some information. There is an upcoming workshop on end of life and talking about that. And I'm going to be doing an interview with a guy who is exceptional at having conversation about end of life, Darren Parkin is going to be chatting with me on a conversation on that social media with that foundation. But maybe we'll throw him into the one of the conversations here one day because I always appreciate hearing. And he has been, because he's the chaplain at a hospital, he has been the part of a lot of end of life moments for a lot of families. And he's got a really amazing perspective and outlook on what that looks like. And I guess that's what was on my mind today. Happy Friday. We're still in a good space, right? But yeah. And I think what comes from that in maybe it's in a fuck it Friday mentality. Maybe it's in what you have planned for the weekend. Maybe it's in some of that things as we start to jump into what we want to do for spring and summer, right? It feels hopeful. It feels fresh. It feels like things are coming into our own again. We feel like we're stepping into those great places. And so, with that mentality of living it, being in the moment, embracing the incredible opportunities that are around us every single day, is having that YOLO kind of thing, right? Do you know what I mean? And not in a I think sometimes when people are like, "Well, you only live once," and maybe they're trying really extreme things, and that's okay. I mean, maybe you're not there, and that's okay. But just what are some of those things? I don't know. Maybe would you feel comfortable to share in the comments? But what are some of those things that have been on your list that you kind of always wanted to do, but you've maybe been a little bit afraid of it. You've maybe been hesitant because of maybe it costs money to do it. Maybe you're unsure if it fits into like, I think a lot of times we stop ourselves and we block ourselves because we think that we shouldn't do something, right? It's all that shoulding again all over ourselves. Or, you know, moms don't do that, or community leaders don't do that, or people of faith don't do that, or whatever box parameter bullshit you've wrapped around that thought, that foundational conditional piece that's in your brain, and shaking through that. So I'm curious if you have a thing, or maybe it's still on your list, but you haven't quite got to it yet. What is that thing that you are hopeful that you will do, achieve, try, get done? What does that look like? I'd love to know because I'm pretty sure there's something. And then thinking about for a moment, what is it really that's blocking you from doing it? And is that truthful? Is it real truth? Is what you're telling yourself real? Or is it something that you've told yourself because we just do that? Right? Like dig through it a little bit and see what that looks and feels like for you because maybe it's time we try some of those things. Some of those scary things. And I can say that I think because I've had moments definitely in gosh, Mike, if you're still watching, you could probably attest to this. I've had moments over the past, I'm going to say 10 years, but it's probably a shorter window than that. Yeah, definitely probably since 2013. So it's just under that 10-year window where I've jumped into things that were terrifying to me, that I was afraid of, that I didn't think I could do, that I was worried, because a lot of times I think the things that block us is ego. And I think when we think about ego, we think about someone who is egotistical. And so we don't like to describe or identify that we all have ego within us for everything. And most of the time, ego is loud and obnoxious in thinking that it's protecting us, but it's just stopping. And I think a huge lesson that we have in our life is being able to quiet ego, being able to leave ego to the side and step into whatever that looks like. Do you know what I mean? And so it's identifying, okay, the things that are blocking me from trying that thing is just this ego voice, is just this thing that thinks it's protecting me when really it's holding me back from what is next. And so, what does that look like for you? Kathy says, I'm my own worst enemy. And we really are. We are the ones that get in our way. We are the ones that put the limitations onto the things that we want to do and achieve. We do that. Our abundance and our access to all of the things of the world are in front of us all the time. All the time, it's there. There is nothing that you don't have inside you right now that makes you capable of doing whatever it is you would like to try or do. There is nothing. The only thing that stops you is you. And I am a professional at getting in my own way. Hands down. I do it on the daily, probably on the hour, on the minute. And so just admitting that today, maybe that's our fuck it Friday piece to ourselves, is we are just going to admit, yeah, just like Kathy said, I am my own worst enemy, but not anymore. Not anymore. I want you to find an affirmation that steps into that for you. And I want you to put it on a post-it note, and I want you to stick it on your mirror, on your fridge, on the wall, at your desk, whatever it looks like. And I want you to write out, I am, and then whatever it is that you wish to be working on, doing whatever, let's own it. Let's say that you are that right now. Not one day I'm going to be this, I'm working towards this. No, I am whatever it is. And that can be like, I am courageous. I am loved. I am abundance. I am a thrill seeker. I am whatever it is, right? Write a couple of them out. Stick them on those post-it notes. I like to get shaped post-it notes because they're even more fun, because I'm obsessed with office supplies, but we won't go down those admissions today. But do that. Try that. Give it that fuck it attitude and just be like, ego, I know you are here and I know you're trying to protect me, but it's fuck it Friday and I'm telling you to hit the road. And what is it that you could do this weekend? Maybe it's a hike. It's a hike. I know that I am somebody who I love hiking. I think I love the idea of hiking. I love seeing all the pictures of the things that all the other people have done. And last year I went on a hike, really tested myself because the first part of it was really steep and it was really hard. And I am not a cardio going, gym all the time, super in shape person. And honestly, even if you are that person, steep climbs, steep climbs, they're hard to do. They're hard to do. But I hadn't done one like that. And I was hiking with another person. And it was terrifying to me because I had to be so vulnerable in those moments to stop and take breaks so that I didn't die on the hike. That hike was a turning point for me in starting to learn how to be vulnerable with other people. And that is scary as fuck. I totally get it. And I'm still not very good at it. I am a work in progress at it. I'm not going to say I'm not good. I'm a work in progress. right? We mind shift a little there. But that was difficult. And I want to do more of those, but I stop myself because I think about those moments where I felt so vulnerable and so tired and so unsure if my body was going to let me down or not. And then we don't. Okay. Just a simple example of maybe something and it something that's stopping you. And I haven't really talked about that much before because it felt so personal. And there's so many things that go into our mind that are bullshit in those moments, right? That negative self talk, that little voice that confirms the things that you are the most insecure about of your own self. And you have this battle all the time, this internal conversation that you're still trying to kick. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Am I just like Friday rambling? It's very possible, and that's okay. But I'm just trying to give you an example and also build my own strength and admitting it to you. Because those are the first steps is we have to just be courageous. We have to say the shit out loud. We got to try the things. And we also have to go into something being really okay that we could suck at it because nobody is awesome at everything the first time they do something. So even if you want to try the something new, know that you're probably going to need to do it more than once. What do you think? So what's the thing? What's the thing when I'm talking about something you want to try, something that you want to do, something that feels like you're stepping into something fun? What is that? Throw it up in the comments and let me know. Maybe that's your first piece is you're going to say it out loud in the comments to our safe space of virtual coffee club and you're going to put it out there. What's the thing? I want to know because I think it's going to be amazing. Jim asks, have you ever hiked in Jasper? No. I went up the Sky Tram and hiked a little bit around the top of the mountain where it takes you. I did not hike the mountain. That's too much for me at this time. I whitewater rafted in Jasper. That was something that I was always deathly afraid of trying and doing because I was certain that I would drown or that I would get flipped out of the boat and be left behind. Okay, we have all sorts of irrational fears that we like to build up in our brains. And again, I got a great imagination, so I can do those. But Cheryl says, I'd love to channel my best self on the outside. I love that. I think that's great. What else? What's resonating for you? What's coming to mind for you? For those of you who are catching this on the replay, feel free to share. What is that thing? What are the something that pops into your brain? Or maybe you're not quite ready to say it out loud yet, but hold on to it in your brain for a moment and sit with it and see how it feels. Because if it keeps popping into your brain, those are nudges and you got to pay attention to those and see where it takes you. But yeah. On that note, since we've covered a gamut of interesting topics today, thank you for being a part of Virtual Coffee Club. Always a pleasure to connect with you. Always a pleasure to have you pop in and be a part of a community. It's important. That connection is important. And hopefully, you spur some conversation in your world for the weekend. Maybe you're going to try something a little bit new. Maybe you're going to do something that you haven't done before this weekend, or maybe you've just planted a seed and you're getting the ball rolling and you're just going to lightly water that beautiful seed over the next while. And I know when it's time, when the time is right, you're going to do that thing. You're going to do that thing. And it's so very cool. And when we work on those things with ourselves, even though it feels like you're doing something for you, and I think we tell ourselves the lie that we're selfish when we focus on those self pieces. But the best version of you And the you that is stepping into its greatness and strength makes this world a better place. You are a difference maker. And what you do with yourself and your energy ripple effects into this world. And it's amazing. And I'm so proud of you. I really am. So, cheers to you. And I'm having McDonald's coffee today. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. Have an amazing rest of your Friday. Have an incredible weekend. And we will see you back here Monday morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Have a great one. Remember, you're great.